I was just looking at my calendar and realized it's February 14th. Most folks are out there panic buying roses that'll be wilted by Tuesday, but I spent my morning sweet talking a stubborn piece of kiln-dried white oak that didn't want to square up. That's my kind of romance.
Oh, so you're saying you chose a plank of wood over a box of chocolates? Bold move, Tiger. I'm sure your wife is thrilled to be second place to a tree.
Well, she knows the deal. Besides, oak doesn't talk back when I'm 20 minutes deep into a glue up and realize I've got a board flipped the wrong way. It just sits there and lets me contemplate my life choices in silence.
Fair enough. Welcome to the TigerDen Daily, everyone. It's Saturday, February 14th, 2026. We've got a packed shop today, from high-tech caffeine fixes to the reality of jumping into the trades this year. And Tiger, I hear you've been looking at some gear that costs more than my first car.
Look, if you're going to spend 12 hours a day making sawdust, your nervous system needs a reliable spark plug. I've been eyeing the Breville Oracle Jet. It's this espresso machine that's basically built like a milling machine. It's got that heavy, tactile click to the switches that it makes you feel like you're prepping for a space launch instead of a Tuesday.
It's an espresso machine, Tiger, not a CNC router. Do we really need industrial-grade beans to sand a tabletop?
It's about the ritual, Alex. If the coffee tastes like wet cardboard, the dovetails are going to look like they were cut with a spoon. It's science. But speaking of things that actually make the job faster, have you seen what's happening with the Manus 12 platform?
The AI scheduling stuff? I thought that was just for people who work in glass towers and wear vests.
Not anymore. I've reached the age where my brain is like an old hard drive. If I try to remember a material takeoff for a kitchen remodel, while I'm also trying to remember if I turn the heater off in the shop, something's going to crash. These platforms are taking the paperwork headache out of the trades. It's saving guys 10 hours a week. That's 10 hours you could be spending actually building something or, sleeping.
10 hours is huge. That's the difference between a side hustle and a real business. But I'm more interested in the power shift you mentioned earlier. We're finally seeing the end of the extension cord, aren't we?
It's finally happening. I used to be the guy who swore by the cord. I figured if it didn't plug into a wall, it didn't have the lungs for a big job. But these new 80 volt and 100 volt ecosystems, they're absolute animals. I ran an 80 volt table saw the other day that chewed through 3-inch Purple Heart like it was birthday cake.
Just don't tell me you're going to miss tripping over yellow cords every 5 minutes.
My ankles certainly won't miss them. I've done more accidental gymnastics over extension cords than a circus performer.
Let's pivot to the big trade talk. The 2026 data is out, and it looks like everyone wants to be an auto tech. Is it just because cars are basically giant rolling computers now?
That's a big part of it. It's a different kind of dirty than it used to be. It's cleaner, more technical. Especially up in Canada, we're seeing a massive influx of people leaving desk jobs to get under the hood. There's a certain gravity to fixing a machine that someone relies on to get their kids to school. It's honest work.
But there's a but coming, isn't there? I saw the notes on grind culture.
Yeah, it's the elephant in the garage. Some of these high-volume shops are still running like it's 1985. They want you to turn wrenches until your hands lock up, pushing for speed over everything else. If you're looking to jump into the automotive world this year, you've got to be the one holding the magnifying glass during the interview.
What should they be looking for? Give me the Tiger test.
Ask them about their burnout strategy. If the shop foreman looks at you like you got two heads when you ask about mental health or sustainable pacing, grab your toolbox and roll it right back out the door. The best shops in 2026 treat their techs like athletes, not disposable filters. You want a place that values the fact that you're a human being who needs to be able to hold a fork at the end of the day.
That's solid advice for any trade. Speaking of holding things, let's talk about the maker moguls. I see a lot of people on social media saying the custom furniture dream is dead because of mass market stuff.
Those people are just building the wrong things. If you're trying to build a basic pine bookshelf and compete with a flat pack Swedish giant, you're going to lose your shirt and your sanity. The money right now is in what I call bespoke identity furniture.
Sounds fancy. Does it come with a tuxedo?
No, but it comes with a story. People don't just want a surface to put their keys on. They want a conversation piece. We're seeing a huge spike in mixed media, wood meeting poured resin, or steel plate inlays. And these gateway drugs like personalized coasters, man, those X-Tool laser engravers are like printing money if you've got a bit of a creative eye.
Wait, are you telling our listeners to become coaster kings?
I'm telling them that high-volume, low-cost items pay the light bill so you can spend 2 months building that signature piece that sells for 5 figures. It's about the mogul formula. You can't just guess what a table costs. You take your materials, add your hourly, And please, for the love of all things holy, value your time higher than a fast food wage, and then apply an overhead multiplier.
I've seen your formula before. It usually involves you scratching numbers on a scrap piece of plywood and then forgetting where you put the plywood.
Hey, that plywood was a legal document. But seriously, the secret sauce in 2026 is the story. If you aren't filming the process, showing the grit, the mistakes, the way the grain pops when the oil hits it, you're just a guy in a garage. Your social media is your storefront window.
Okay, it's Valentine's Day. We have to talk DIY. What if someone, let's say a hypothetical co-host, totally forgot to get a gift and has exactly 4 hours this afternoon?
Hypothetically, of course. Well, if you've got a desktop CNC, you're the hero of the hour. You can carve a jewelry box or a love map faster than you can find a parking spot at the mall, a quick hit of spray lacquer, and it looks like you've been planning it for months.
And for those of us who prefer heavy lifting to heart-shaped boxes,
That's where the toolbox method comes in. They just dropped a guide on modular garage gyms. See, I hate those massive, bulky power racks that take up half the shop. They showed this wall cleat system. It's like a French cleat on steroids. You can hang your weights, fold the bench up against the wall, and it even doubles as a pull-up station.
a gym that doesn't get in the way of my table saw? Now you're speaking my language.
Exactly, you're building gains and grains at the same time. And while you're at it, take 10 minutes to brand your work. Use Adobe Express, make a logo, and get some vinyl decals made. Applying your own mark to a project. There's a psychological shift that happens when you see your name on a finished piece. It stops being a hobby project and starts being a TigerDen original.
TigerDen Original. I think I'll stick to Alex's average artifacts.
Hey, as long as you're making something, you're winning.
We've covered a lot today. Tech, trades, business, and how to save your relationship with a CNC machine. What's the one thing you want people to take into their wood shop or their garage this weekend?
I was thinking about this while I was sharpening my chisels last night. We get so caught up in the precision of it all, the perfect measurements, the expensive tools. But the most valuable thing you own isn't the 100-volt saw or the AI scheduler. It's the permission to fail.
That got deep quickly.
I'm serious. Every masterpiece I've ever made is just a collection of mistakes that I was smart enough to hide or persistent enough to fix. This weekend, don't be afraid to ruin a piece of wood. Don't be afraid to try a new trade because you think you're too old or too desk-shaped. The only project you'll ever truly regret is the one you kept in your head because you were scared of the mess.
Wise words from a man who once glued his own sleeve to a dining table.
Hey, that table had a lot of character, and I eventually got the shirt back. Mostly.
Thanks for hanging out with us in the TigerDen today. Go build something meaningful, stay sharp, and don't forget to check the links in the show notes for those garage gym blueprints and the first sale masterclass.
Keep the sawdust flying and the sparks moving. We'll see you in the shop next time.